when we're going through this live, we're going to keep this one short and sweet, but please feel free to ask questions throughout. If I do not get to them live, I will make sure I get back to them and check them out a little bit later on in the day. I will not leave you hanging, guys. Like I said, I'm here for you. That's why I do these Facebook Lives. Gives us a chance to dig into some different topics. Instead of just reading something, all you got to do is hang back and listen. So what we're going to look at today, as I mentioned, is can you build muscle, can you lose fat, can you get in great shape by training just 3 days per week? The answer is yes. And honestly, guys, if I'm being completely honest here, I would say the best results I typically get are when I actually dial back my training and focus on getting in 3 days per week. And this comes to a few things. First, I have to eliminate all the fluffy bullshit from my workouts. I'm not wasting time. I'm not looking at my Instagram throughout my workouts. I'm not, just testing and experimenting endlessly with different exercises. I'm laser focused because I only know I have a short amount of time to be in the gym, right? When you have 3 days per week to train, you have to make the most of that time and focus so narrow and just get in the zone as much as you can to maximize the time that you have. And I'm sure like a lot of you guys, I see my client Jamie on here. Jamie's got a family. He's busy, very busy job, up and down. I'm sure everybody else here can relate that, we're all busy, right? We have families, we have jobs, we have travel, we have, friendships, all these other things that take up a lot of time. And occasionally, training 4 or 5 days a week is just not practical within our schedule. Or it might be practical, but you're making sacrifices in other areas that you're not willing to, where fitness becomes something that starts to consume your life rather than make it better. And for whatever reason, I find 3 days a week to honestly be that sweet spot for a lot of people if you can get in and be really focused on those days. Does anybody here have any questions on training 3 days per week right now? Guys, give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you're here. Because what we're going to do is I'm going to talk about a couple of different training splits that you can do when you're training 3 days per week and get you in the gym and out in about an hour, right? If you could get jacked on 3 hours per week and start making awesome progress, I think we'd all be happy there. So looking at 3 day a week routines, right? So I said some of the best gains that I get are when I'm on 3 days a week. And this comes down to a few things. One, we eliminate the fluff. We're focusing on big brick and mortar compound exercises, guys. We're talking, squat variations, front squats, back squats, box squats, deadlifts, conventional sumo, trap bar work, Romanian deadlifts, presses. So whether we're overhead, whether we're horizontal, all these different things. We're focusing on the big basic movement patterns and getting a little bit stronger in those as we go. So when we're looking at the exercise or at the splits themselves, a couple ways that I like to do it. One, an upper, lower, upper split. So that would mean, Monday we're going to come in, we're going to hit some heavy strength work focused on the upper body. So think you would start with a heavy bench press variation. It could be a dumbbell press, anywhere from 4 to 8 reps, ramping up a little bit higher. If you're concerned about pure strength, anywhere from 1 to 5 reps works there. And then we're going to go into a rowing motion. So push, heavy, row, heavy, and then we'll get into push volume, row volume, right? So upper body day on Monday, push the strength focus on Monday, all right? Focus on your big lifts, get a little bit better there. Generally Wednesday is when I'd like to focus on a lower body workout. Now I tend to find a lot of clients will, a lot of my clients have social lives, right? So they're gonna go out, maybe they'll have a couple beers, they're gonna do something recreationally over the weekend, and their legs might be a little bit beat up, or say they're just in rough shape because they went out and partied. And a lot of times they won't have the intensity to really dial up the lower body training as hard as they need to, right? It's hard enough to get after it some days on a squat when you're tired, when you're fatigued. And a lot of times I find that Monday, it's just a bitch. So I like to save Wednesday for that lower body focus. Once again, just like Monday, we're gonna make this a focus primarily on building strength. So pick a squat or a deadlift and really chase some incremental improvements in terms of the numbers that you're having. Generally looking, if you have a lower body workout and you go squat or deadlift as that first exercise, move to a single leg exercise like a split squat, Bulgarian split squat, or a walking lunge, and then hit the other movement pattern, whether it's a squat or a deadlift. So for example, if you squat first for strength, then you're going to want to do maybe an RDL later in the day, or if you do a deadlift for your strength movement, you're going to want to do a squat for higher reps later in that workout. As long as you're getting these 3 major movement patterns in your lower body day, so a heavy squat or deadlift, a single leg movement, and then a squat or a deadlift that's focused more on getting volume, that's really going to set you up for success in terms of this upper lower split. Friday, we would say Friday would be another upper body day. boom, this is when you're going to want to focus, get your pump work in. So today for me on Friday, shit, man. I mean, I had a ton of overhead pressing stuff. I kept my rest periods 30 to 60 seconds. When you dial those rest periods back on a pump day like you would on a Friday, you're going to have that increase in metabolic stress. And metabolic stress is what's going to trigger, upregulate protein synthesis, create more muscular damage within the cell themselves, and give you that good pump when you leave the gym to trigger some more muscle growth. So treat Friday like a pump day. This could be, you're going to focus on hitting mostly everything in your upper body. So we'll say a horizontal pressing movement again, like a dumbbell incline bench press for 4 sets to 8 to 12 reps, a single arm dumbbell row, 3 to 4 sets of 10 to 15, even 20 reps. Some high rep rows are always great. I would move into a chin up after this, or a vertical pull. I like to do a horizontal pull before you do a vertical pull like a chin up, because this really fires up the lats, sets the shoulder into a good position, and really keeps you, healthy and happy throughout, warms up the elbows a bit as well. And then dive into some other pushing variation, whether it's an overhead press, whether it is another chest press variation, to get a good pump on the upper body, and then dial into some direct shoulder work, whether it's a lateral raise or some direct arm work, whether you want to crush some bicep curls, whether you want to do all of that, that's completely fine. But the biggest premise here, upper body strength day on Monday, lower body strength focus on Wednesday, and a high volume pump day for the upper body on Friday. Then this gives you the option on the weekend. Like, I'm out here in Colorado, so people love to go hiking, kayaking, all this stuff, climbing, especially in the summer as the weather gets a little bit nicer. So having this open leaves your legs a little bit fresher to do something over the weekend, to do something recreationally, whatever you want. So I would say 3 planned workouts, upper, lower, upper. And then, if you want to do a 4th day, hit some sprints on the weekend or play a sport, awesome, do that. But if you continue to go upper, lower, upper, and just get a little bit stronger over time, that's going to give you ample time to recover from your exercises, to manage the stress that's around your life beyond just being in the gym. And, it's just going to let you live that life where it's like fitness improves it, it doesn't consume it. Guys, you have any questions on that piece at all right there? Like I said, I'm going to share an article I have up right now. It's actually a T-Nation article called The 8 Most Effective Training Splits, and this gets a ton of feedback. Jamie with a question, can you alternate starting with deadlifts week 1, then squats on week 2 for the lower body? Yes, especially if you ever feel beat up with a squat or a deadlift. Honestly, you could use those two interchangeably. So as Jamie was asking, week 1, you could do a squat movement on that Wednesday, have that be your heavy strength focus, and then hit volume with a deadlift variation like an RDL later in the workout. And then the next week, you can flip it. So then you hit a heavy deadlift for your strength focus, and then move on to a higher rep squat late in the day. That's going to help you prevent some of those overuse injuries and those annoying aches and pains that really come if you feel like you've been hitting the deadlifts, squats, and that stuff really hard. Let's see, what else do I have for you guys? Okay, final one, I gotta roll. I don't know if you guys saw, I've just got this little puppy who's asleep and needs to go to the bathroom. The next one, so upper, lower, upper. Otherwise, I would also look at a total body training split. So a total body training split honestly works really well for getting in the gym and out quickly. Total body stimulation, the more often you can stimulate major movement patterns and muscle groups, the more likely they are to grow, as long as recovery and protein, nutrition, all that stuff is dialed in. So guys, if you're gonna set up a total body workout, this is what I would do. I would focus, here's a sample. Day 1, Monday, you can do a squat 5x3, that's your strength movement. Barbell bench press 3x6, moving on to a single leg movement, a lunge like 3x8 to 12, and then finish off with dips and farmer's walks, right? Hit some stress there, that's gonna be good. Take Tuesday off. Wednesday, you're back in overhead press, this is your strength movement. Let's say 5x3 again, then you're gonna move on to a deadlift as your second lift, 4x5, give or take, something like that. Could even go up towards 8, but be careful on deadlifts with high volume. Third exercise, a chin up, 3x8 to 12, and then finish off again with a direct ab workout or direct ab exercise like a ab wheel rollout and a bicep curl. Guys, it's simple and straightforward. Like I said, I'll share this article with you. And then Friday, last day of the week, get back in, hit one more lower body strength movement. So a back squat here, maybe with a bent over row or heavy dumbbell, single arm row as your second exercise. Hit some volume on the chest with a third exercise with a dumbbell bench press, 3x8 to 12 reps, and then finish off a weighted carry, some direct arm work, some direct ab work. Pick one of the two. I wouldn't necessarily crush arms and abs every single time you're in the gym, but pick one of the two and do that with a weighted carry, and you guys will be set. Guys, that's all I have right here for training 3 days a week. But honestly, if you can get in the gym and hit it hard 3 days a week, man, like, you can just focus on that and focus on what you're doing in the kitchen. you're going to see some awesome results, right? Your recovery is going to be dialed up. You're going to have more, mental capacity to focus on other areas that really drive progress besides being in the gym. So, give it a shot. Try 3 days a week. It's worked really well for me in the past. Feel free to drop more questions on this post. And guys, I'll get back to those shortly. I got to take the puppy out now, but I will catch you later. Thanks a lot for being here. And if this resonates with you guys, and you think it's going to help other people, do me a favor, hit like and share it. All right, I'll see you guys later.